if you look at propaganda in the past and trying to convince people of certain things, it was very much like I'm going to convince you to believe my ideology. I want you to come to my side. But now a lot of the motivations behind some of the cyber truth activity have more to do with creating sort of like a sense of cynicism and not convincing people that your side is right, but that maybe their side is wrong and that they should question that.
They identified in Vote Leave a particular group of voters, essentially young working class males, who were very difficult to reach and who were generally unlikely to vote. But if one could reach them and if one could prod them to vote, then it was likely they would vote Leave.
What we know from various studies in communication scholarship is that people develop their political opinion, political identities over time. They consult a wide range of sources. It's not just reading one or two stories on social media. They've decided, I'm going to vote this way. It's a really long, complicated process.
I don't think we need machine learning technologies or even complicated math to build technologies that influence people, right? I think it's pretty uncontroversial in my broader research field of human-computer interaction that the way that you design an interface is going to have very powerful and often hard to understand and even hard to observe effects on how people act, how they think, how they feel about themselves, what they do with it, and it's, any technology is like that.
And ultimately, all those methods and all those algorithms are just numerical representations of whatever is going on. That data can be counts of how often you click somewhere, and that data can be, I don't know, the number of purchases you made at some place, the number of messages you put. Yeah, and in case of Facebook, it can be even more. So it can even be how long you looked at a certain post, right? So how long it took they can in theory measure everything about this app. Did your eyes stand still too long at a beautiful woman, or did you keep on looking at some sort of nice new sofa that you wanted to buy, something like that? So in theory, they could track all of that.
I think what we can say about social media is that more and more people do use it as a source of news. And it's not just going to these sources for news, but it's also the way that, like targeted advertisements and things like that can be used to nudge people in a certain direction based on their preferences and all this data that is collected about us. And so, put those two things together, that more people are using these technologies for news, and the fact that these political messages can be highly micro-targeted to people to nudge behavior. I think it can be quite profound, and maybe in ways that people don't actually understand or can actually, put their finger on.
Most people don't really know what's happening, and they don't realise that actually, there were an awful lot of protections that have kind of grown up around elections. To try and keep them fair and open and relatively honest. Many of those, particularly because of its complexity and its opacity, are challenged by the digital media and the use of personal data.
Facebook itself, ignore whether it's machine learning or magic or bad heuristics or whatever underneath it. Like Facebook, the fact that it exists and that we can interact with each other in these ways of posting status updates, liking things, linking to things, like that in itself has a really profound effect on the way that we interact with people. And now suddenly our human-to-human interactions are being funneled through this very artificial set of channels, and it's been framed in a way that's like, an unquestionably good thing. And if you listen to the Facebook founders even I think last week or so there was a memo that was leaked by one of the top level Facebook execs from a few years ago saying, we're connecting people, therefore it's good.